Hi, I'm Kelly O'Connor with Financial Caffeine. If you just purchased my audiobook, it should be waiting for you in your inbox to download. If you haven't, we're going to have the links for you to do so. I got a couple things for you. One of value. I'll mention at the end. Hope you stay for that. And then the second is this quick conversation of what I call Brother A and Brother B. It's the conversation about pre-tax versus post-tax. And let's see if you know which one the government would prefer for you to choose. Stay with me. All right, so I call this conversation Brother A versus Brother B. Now, Brother A is our pre-tax investment. Brother B is our post-tax investment. Now, we have a lot of financial entertainers out there that tell us that Brother A and Brother B, that there's a difference. That there's a difference if you invest pre-tax versus post-tax, and many of them, unfortunately, say that if you invest in a pre-tax account, you have more money compounding for you, therefore you do better. And unfortunately, it's not a subjective opinion. Simple math proves this to be false. So let me show you what I mean. Let's pretend that both of these individuals have $10,000 that they can invest. Now, there is a 30%. Let's just use a variable of 30%. So we have a tax. That's 30%. And Brother A doesn't pay it, right? He hasn't paid his tax yet. He has the full $10,000. But Brother B decides, you know what? I am going to pay the taxes on my 10 grand, owe 3, and that leaves me with $7,000 left over. Now, we know that this Brother A position is really your IRA, your SEP IRA, etc., your 401k, and Brother B is primarily your Roth. Okay? Now, Brother A kills it. He gets with an investor who doubles his money over a course of time, and he ends up with $20,000. Now, they both use the exact same advisor. Brother B invests his money with that individual, and he doubles his money. Oops, let's stick with the color theme. He doubles his money also to $14,000. Now let me ask you this, who won? You see, a lot of advisors or a lot of entertainers out there will tell you that Brother A kicked his butt because he has 20 grand over Brother B's simple 14. But the problem is Brother A hasn't paid his taxes yet. So you see, if he in fact still owed, let's just keep the tax variable the same. If he owed 30% of his 20 grand, then he owes $6,000, which would leave him a total of 14. Now look, this is what's interesting to me. Brother A and Brother B, pre-tax and post-tax, always get to the same result when the variables are the same. They are equal. You can run this in any number of ways. This is true. This is a very simple mathematical demonstration, but you can get really detailed on very analytical spreadsheets. When the variables are the same, they both end up with the same amount of money. So here is the question. I guess I have two. First, do you believe the government has your best interest at heart? I've yet to find somebody who says, well, of course they do. Do you believe financially they have your best interest at heart when you look at taxes and just everything? Of course they do not. So if these two get to the same place mathematically, then why is the government more interested in your pre-tax position than your post-tax? And let's prove that. Up here in Brother A, you do not have any income qualifications. You could be making $3 million a year on a W-2 and you could be contributing to a 401k. You can be making $10 million a year with your business and they're still going to allow you to contribute to a SEP IRA if you happen to be self-employed. There's no income qualifiers for this. And your contribution limits are high. So as a self-employed individual, and I know these numbers aren't exact, but roughly 50 grand. I can do about 50 grand a year into a SEP IRA. They're happy to take that from me. And you can do approximately 17,000 into your 401k. Now let's look at the Roth. There are income qualifications. Once you hit about 120 grand, you begin to be phased out of contributing to a Roth. Why? If they get to the same place mathematically, why would there be an income qualification on this? Interesting. But also, you can only do about 5,500. So think about that. If you happen to be an individual who is doing well, who is in fact uncommon from an income standpoint, you can't put any money into this arena. But if you're right below that line, if you're doing well but not considered the wealthy, you can do a whopping 5,500. So then if you think about it from the standpoint of climbing the whole mountain financially and you get here to retirement, what this means is you really don't have very much money sitting in these things. So once it comes time to distribute, yes, it's tax-free, but you're not going to be able to do that for very long. So if they get to the same place, and now we know that they absolutely incentivize us and want us to be in a pre-tax position, why? Why is that the case? It has everything to do with the future tax rate. You see, if taxes go down, if this guy, if Brother A all of a sudden is at a 10% tax rate in the future, he only owes, whoops, not 8. Oh, come on. He only owes 2,000, which means he wins. He ends up, well, I might as well use the green, right? I have too many colors. He ends up with 18 grand. He is the winner. However, if taxes go up, he owes 8 grand. He lost. He only has $12,000. Mathematically, again, you can do this over and over and over again. The only variable that determines the winner is the future tax rate. And who controls that? Not you, not your CPA, not your advisor. The only person, if you will, who controls that is the government, is the IRS. Well, see, now this starts to make sense. They want us to dump as much money as we can into these arenas because they control this factor here to determine how much they get in the future. And if they don't have our best interest at heart, do you really think they're planning on not collecting it at the beginning to collect less from you in the future? I don't. So in my audiobook, I go into strategies around this. I go into the decisions and the opportunities that exist to basically beat this system. And again, if you've purchased the audiobook, it's in your inbox waiting for you to download. If you haven't, we'll have the links. But as I mentioned, I have something of value for you. So I charge $500 for somebody to meet with me. I have a lot of people who find me, and it's kind of my buffer because I wish I could meet with everybody, but I just can't. And so some people do that and they get on my calendar. But if you've purchased my audiobook, then you've shown a commitment, you made a small investment, but there's a lot of conversations within it to where I go into this in great detail that I don't have to have for you if you just come right through. And because of that, I want to honor that for you. So within my audiobook, I have a special code that when it comes time to get on my calendar and fill out my little one-page application, you can enter that code and I waive that $500 fee completely, so it's absolutely free for you. So if you've got it in your inbox, time to go check it out. If you haven't, we've got the links here. Hopefully I have an opportunity to meet with you.